As the investigation into Nancy Guthrie's disappearance continues tonight, neighbors say fear is still lingering in the area. Investigators say they're not ruling out the possibility that more than one person may be involved. Meantime, we're told the FBI is answering calls around the clock to 1-800-CALL-FBI tip line and reviewing submissions online. A reward of up to $100,000 from the agency remains in place for information leading to Nancy Guthrie's location or to the arrest and conviction of anyone involved in her disappearance. 88 Crime is also offering a reward now of $202,500. Monica Garcia joins us now live in the Catalina foothills with the very latest. And Monica, what is the latest today?
Sean, the latest is in regards to a Tucson couple who wishes to remain anonymous, who tells me that they have found two gloves less than a mile away from Nancy Guthrie's house, one appearing to have blood on it. And we did speak with them exclusively. And to give you an idea, where they found it is, again, less than a mile away from here as soon as you pull out of this neighborhood right on Campbell Avenue. All of this happening, they tell us, on Wednesday at 10 p.m. The couple tells me they felt compelled to help because they live in the area. They say they decided to drive slowly down Campbell Avenue, searching with a lot of people who were searching back then, shining a bright flashlight out the car window. And that's when they say they saw what looked like a black glove on the side of the road. So they say it did not look ordinary.
Sure enough, it was a black glove in the desert, and we found another black glove within, 10 feet of it.
It also appeared to look like it had blood on it. There was two different colors, and the blood was more towards like the wrist side of the glove, and on the pointer finger it looked like it was ripped. And so I was like, okay, well, I'll call the sheriff's department, see what they do with it. And same thing, we're on the phone with them. They're like, we can't guarantee anybody will come out. You guys can go ahead and leave. We were like, oh my gosh, is this really happening? They're asking for help. We're helping. We're giving it. We're literally saying we found something and nobody's coming. So then we decided, well, let's just call 911.
All right, so after calling at 911, the couple tells me within minutes, investigators were out there on Campbell Avenue helping them out there. And they said that happened at 10 p.m. They did not leave after that questioning with those investigators till 2 a.m. So in the meantime, we also did reach out to the FBI. We have not heard from them regarding this, but we did just hear back from Sheriff Chris Nanos. I just spoke with him on the telephone about 10 minutes ago, and he tells me he can't confirm whether or not that those specific gloves did have blood on them and whether or not they are currently being reviewed as evidence. But he did say if it's something that 911 was called out and the investigator showed up and it was taken as evidence, he can't see why it was not. They were not sent for evidence. Live in the foothills, I'm Monica Garcia. Back to you.
All right. Thank you, Monica. And investigators in the Nancy Guthrie case are still appealing to residents in the area tonight. They're asking for any videos or images of vehicles or anything suspicious looking in a specific radius within Campbell Avenue to Ina Road, as you see on the map there, to La Cholla and River Road. That is the radius. Investigators say they're looking for any leads, especially doorbell or surveillance video from the night of January 11th between 10 p.m. and 1 a.m. and from January 31st to February 1st between 11 p.m. and 4 a.m. They say no detail is too small, and even footage of passing cars could help them in their search. We have a link on our website, kboa.com, where you can submit your video. Investigators just ask that you include your address and the date and time that video was captured. Once again, here is video of that suspect captured by the doorbell camera at Nancy Guthrie's home that evening. And we've shown it to you many times, we know, but investigators say it has never been more important to share the description of that suspect. They say they believe it is a man between 5'9" and 5'10" tall. And you can see there right in the camera that person was wearing gloves and a ski mask. And that person was also carrying a black Ozark trail hiker pack and what appeared to be a gun at their waist. Now, if you have any information on the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie, you're asked to call 1-800-CALL-FBI.
Moments ago, President Trump weighing in on the Nancy Guthrie case. telling the New York Post he will instruct the Department of Justice to seek the death penalty on the potential captors if the 84-year-old grandmother is not returned safe and sound to her family. President Trump went on to tell the Post they will face, quote, the most severe federal consequences if Nancy is found dead. Which we are a long way from that point, Paul. So just sort of picking up where we left off, a lot of digital threads to pull. And do you think that ultimately it will be digital evidence that will help break the case, or do you believe it will be genetic evidence that will do so?
Ooh,
or both?
tough call. I mean, you know, one digital vector in this thing that we hadn't explored was if the purchase history that Walmart has, and the various Walmart stores have different metrics for how long they retain the video. So let's say it's outside the range of where they retain the video. Their video is going to be very much like the video that she had at her house, which is it's not actual video, it's code. So my point is you may have to do something similar with the, let's say they identify the purchase, but it's 3 months ago, but they only have 2 months worth of video recorded. You might have to do something like they did with Google, which is go and see if you can retrieve enough of that code to build an image so we can get a look at this person. So that would be very key. And then the other thing, of course, is that with Donald Trump talking, you have to wonder if the case is about to go completely federal. I'm wondering what the jurisdiction would be.
Yeah. Donna, you broke the news that Harvey Levin claims he has a fourth email with someone who claims that he saw Nancy Guthrie south of the border. So a lot of information to sift through.
But he's still asking, like, I want to make sure that you're really involved and you're not making this up.
Right.
Look, Savannah Guthrie went on TV or on her Instagram yesterday, and she is holding out hope. She said, it's not too late to basically give me back my mother and whatever the situation. I don't know how it ends from there. I think it's kind of interesting. They're flying planes in that area, looking for some kind of signals from pacemakers. Now, I think we've had doctors on who've basically said the pacemaker can work without the base. So she could be okay, right, Paul?
Yeah, it does work without it, yeah.
Okay, so, but I guess they can get a ping from a pacemaker?
It's hard, and it's very, very low energy. You got to know what you're looking for. Each pacemaker has an individual footprint. That's what they're looking for, the fingerprint of the pacemaker, but it's a very low energy thing, and that's why they're playing in all of this.
Why didn't they do that sooner?
Right.
Katie, let's get your thoughts.
Yeah, I would just say there's frustration on a lot of people's parts, mine included. You know, Tyler Robinson was found the next day, Brown University, 5 days, Luigi Mangione, 5 days. And then you even go to Kohberger, and Kohberger was 47 days. But Richard Kolko of the FBI told me this weekend that the Kohberger case, they actually knew who he was very, very quickly. And the sheriff was tight-lipped in that case, as he should have been. So frustration. And when you talk about Savannah's video, I think of all the ebbs and flows of this and how it's affected the American public and how that must affect her having hope and then having disappointment.
Final thoughts, Donna?
Yeah, I'm just surprised we didn't do some of this sooner. I think that's really interesting. We were watching these helicopters fly over low. Like you said, Paul, they're looking for something specific because more than one person there is going to have a pacemaker. So I really hope that some of these things that they've decided to do later, it's not too late. So let's hope that.
I'd be looking by storage locations. I think if the person lives in the area,
yes,
you'd have to take that shot and see if they have, you know, they wouldn't want to bring her home. Right. And maybe they got a location. Remember the Brown University shooting?
Right.
Yes.
The newsroom buzzed with urgency as the red live light blinked on. Breaking news, the anchor said, voice steady but eyes uneasy. Christian author and speaker Nancy Guthrie has reportedly been abducted. Phones rang endlessly. Social media exploded. Within minutes, her name trended worldwide, but something didn't add up. The report came from an anonymous source. No ransom note, no witnesses, no signs of struggle at her home. Detective Aaron Cole leaned over the evidence table, frowning. If this was a kidnapping, he muttered, someone would want something. But no one did. Nancy's house was untouched, her Bible open on the desk, a cup of tea still warm. It was as if she had simply vanished. Hours later, a second report surfaced. A neighbor claimed to have seen a black SUV, but couldn't confirm who was inside. The media ran with it. Abduction confirmed, headlines screamed. But Aaron wasn't convinced. This isn't a kidnapping, he said quietly. Then what is it? His partner asked. Aaron stared at Nancy's open notebook. One sentence was underlined twice. The truth is often hidden in plain sight. Something about this case felt deliberate. Like Nancy hadn't been taken. Like she had stepped into something far bigger than anyone realized. And somewhere out there, someone wanted the world to believe a lie. Backhand index pointing right, like, share, and subscribe to follow the truth as it unfolds. Aaron replayed the security footage again and again. Nancy walking to her door, pausing, looking straight at the camera. Then static. When the footage returned, she was gone. No forced entry, no struggle, no noise, his partner said. It's impossible. Aaron shook his head. No, it's intentional. He zoomed in. Nancy's face wasn't afraid. It was calm. That's when he saw it. Her lips moved just before the screen glitched. He slowed the footage, frame by frame. 2 words. Trust truth. Aaron leaned back. She knew. Knew what? That this would happen. Meanwhile, online speculation spiraled. Some called it a targeted abduction. Others whispered conspiracy. But a third theory began to emerge, quieter, stranger. What if Nancy hadn't been kidnapped at all? What if she had gone willingly? Aaron grabbed her journal again, flipped through pages of notes, scriptures, reflections. Then he found it. A date circled in red. Today's date. And beneath it, they will say I was taken, but the truth will set it free. Aaron's pulse quickened. This isn't a crime scene, he said slowly. It's a message. The deeper Aaron dug, the stranger it became. Nancy's phone records showed no distress calls, but several encrypted messages sent days before her disappearance. Recipients unknown. Locations scrambled. This isn't random, Aaron said. She was communicating with someone. A tech analyst finally cracked part of the data. Coordinates. Aaron drove there immediately, an abandoned church on the edge of town. Inside, the air felt still, expectant. On the altar sat a single envelope. His name on it. Aaron froze. She knew I'd come. He opened it carefully. Inside was a handwritten note. This is not an abduction, it's a revelation. His heart pounded. Footsteps echoed behind him. Aaron spun around, but no one was there. Just a whisper carried through the empty building. You're closer than you think. Back at the station, the media frenzy intensified. Kidnapping confirmed, they shouted. But Aaron now knew better. This is staged, he told his team, every detail. But why? Aaron looked at the note again. Because someone wants us to believe the wrong story. And Nancy, she wasn't a victim. She was part of something much bigger. The breakthrough came at 2:13 a.m. Another message. This time decoded instantly. A video file. Aaron hesitated before pressing play. Nancy appeared on screen. Alive, calm, unafraid. If you're seeing this, she said, then the narrative has already begun. Aaron leaned closer. I was not kidnapped, she continued. I chose to disappear. His breath caught. Why? His partner whispered. Nancy's voice continued. Because the truth cannot be revealed from the outside. It must be uncovered from within the lie. The screen flickered, then went black. Silence filled the room. So this whole thing. Aaron nodded slowly. A deception. But not hers. Someone else. Someone powerful enough to control the story. And dangerous enough to hide the truth in plain sight. Aaron stood up. We're not looking for a kidnapper, he said. We're looking for the reason she had to vanish. Patterns began to emerge. Nancy wasn't the first. Aaron uncovered similar cases, people who disappeared without explanation. all labeled kidnappings, all missing one thing: proof. They weren't taken, Aaron realized. They stepped out. But why? He mapped the connections. Every case tied back to one organization. Hidden, influential, untouchable. They control the narrative, his partner said. Aaron nodded grimly. And Nancy figured it out. Which made her dangerous. Not because of what she knew, but because of what she refused to hide. Then another clue arrived. A final message. Find me where truth began. Aaron didn't hesitate. He knew exactly where that was. The old library stood silent. Dust-covered, forgotten. Aaron stepped inside, heart pounding. Nancy. A voice answered from the shadows. You finally understand. She stepped forward, calm, resolute. You weren't kidnapped, Aaron said. No, she replied. I exposed something. What? Nancy met his eyes. The illusion of control. She explained everything. The disappearances, the false narratives, the way truth was buried under louder lies. I had to become the story, she said, to reveal the truth behind it. Aaron exhaled slowly. So the abduction. A cover, she said. And now? Nancy smiled faintly. Now the truth is out. Outside, sirens echoed. The world was waking up. And nothing would ever be the same. Backhand index pointing right, like, share, and subscribe, because the truth always finds its way to the light.